Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a very special episode of A Girl, a Guy, and a Movie with myself, the hands, Bruce Lombardo, and my friend Janet from another planet. Janet, how are you today?
I'm good. I hope everyone else is doing good.
I would hope so. We gotta look at that outfit, guys. Amazing music's like, we want Janet. We want Janet. Yeah,
You see, I got boots
that's
in
just
my tricorder bag, and all is squeezed in it.
oh my god. Oh, you're awesome.
And my beam me up, Scotty.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Star Trek. I just absolutely love this. You were with me the first time I watched the very first episode,
yeah.
and it was it almost made me cry because it was so overwhelming to see a show that was so much like the original series, with the passion and the love for the characters and the story. I just thought it was awesome.
I've never seen. Okay, first off, this is a fan film or fan fiction that's been given life. And so this is the probably the closest we're going to get to a real original series Trek until they can completely take scripts and reanimate and revisualize or previs people onto stages and then put the faces of our deceased actors or the actors back whenever they were in their 30s and 40s on the screen. And I really don't like that idea because it just feels like you're sucking the soul out of it for a homunculus of bad ideas. But this is a fanfic. It's 11 episodes.
Yes, 11
And
episodes.
it took place, filming was between 2013 and 2017.
Yeah, it was 2017 until,
No, 2013 to 2017.
was it till, 2013 to 2017.
I missed it. I missed it. There was other people.
I'd never seen it. I'd never seen it. I was really surprised because I have been contacted to be in lots of different fan film stuff, and no one had ever said anything about it. This one. And also the fact that they made exact replicas of so many sets. It was, I just can't even go on enough about it. I'm telling you right now, everyone that knows me knows how much I love The Great Raid. Okay. And for my favorite patriotic movie, I can tell you right now, this is my right under, I'm going to get emotional thinking about it, but right under the original series. This is how good it is. It was so good. It brought back so many memories from when I was young with my dad. I just loved it. You could tell they all loved this show.
This is for me and Janet, Star Trek the original series has a real place in our hearts because both of us were young kids by our father's sides watching this science fiction epic take place in 45-minute increments every week. It was in syndication. We weren't alive whenever it was. Well, actually, she might have. I'm not certain. But Janet didn't appreciate Star Trek until she was older. Because that's when you first watch it in your teens and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. Or maybe in your single digits, this has got space, it's got aliens. You don't really understand the context of it till later. And you
I watched it with my dad.
And you keep rewatching
and reruns. And I think I was in the Philippines. So I was 9 to 11 in the Philippines before we came back to Spokane, Washington. And that is when I watched the original series with my dad, because there really wasn't a lot of good stuff to watch on TV in the Philippines. So that was one of the things I got to watch with him. And all I could think about was getting to go on a holodeck, getting to join Starfleet when I grew up, all those things that dumb kids think about when you watch something like this, especially when it's something that was so, to me, it was so real. I mean, it was like, I dreamed of one day being able to tell a machine to fix me a steak and a potato, whatever, or a cup of hot coffee or tea or something like that, or even cotton candy. And then it would just replicate it for me. I didn't think about the logistics of where the stuff was coming from to make it a meal. But just the thought of being able to do that to me was just amazing. Being able to whip out your, you know, any of the things that you had that they had always, their tricorders, just everything they had. It was, to me, it was realistic. Even the doctor's office where they never had needles or, anything. And it just waved this little thing over you and it heal you. I believed in the future one day we would all have that more than I did watching cartoons where they had flying cars and different things like that. To me, this was more realistic. So
this always felt like it was realistic because of not of the tech, but because of how the people acted towards each other. And while they try to act professionally, they're still flawed human beings. And this is where the Star Trek continues, and the old series of the original series, excuse me, they succeed dramatically. Just like Mage's Musing says, you don't really appreciate it for the philosophical writing. That doesn't kick in until you get older. Your 20s and 30s, you start to unlock these thoughts that DC Fontana and other amazing writers had put together. And you have a real appreciation for it. It stands up in the test of time. And I've started to rewatch Star Trek Continues a little bit here and there, and it's just as enjoyable now on a second and third rewatch of certain episodes as it was the first time.
mm-hmm.
That is it was she did not. She's still Aunt Susan or Uncle Susan, Aunt Susan's replacement is still pissed off, and we're gonna misgender the shit out of that guy because I just don't care. And they're still upset with Janet. I don't know why. They seem to
because I suppose we put Miss Medical misinformation out when I used Tucker Carlson's show on my shit show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now I put up some of his video, and that was what my message said, that I received, that it was medical misinformation, even though other people aired the same show and it's up on their channels, and Tucker's whole show about little bits that I used is still up. So I don't know, I think someone personally reported me from X that was mad at something I said in one of the spaces, and they came and personally reported my channel. So that's what I think. But there was nowhere to email them and say, hey, Tucker still has it up. So if that is medical misinformation, then why are they still up? So, but there's no way to send anything in because they don't want to hear from you. They just want to throw their weight around. So I'm just going to put my stuff somewhere else. If they don't want my stuff, then I won't worry about it. I'm not monetized anyway. So, they're not really hurting me. They're just hurting the people that subscribe to me. That's because they don't give a shit about you either. Sorry to say, but go ahead.
They really don't. And I mean, as much as I want Rumble to give a shit about me, I mean, they're kind of a bigger company than what I've got, so they're doing one better than me. But I don't really feel they probably care about me that much either. Although I do think they want me to succeed more than YouTube does. I'll say that, but that's really not here nor there. I just feel that most big companies, most medium-sized companies, just like, are you using our product? Is our product making you happy? Good, continue to pay for our product. And YouTube is at the point where in the game where they're like, all right, citizen, doesn't matter what you think, just keep buying our shit. Fuck you. And that's kind of
they're Disney.
Yeah, they're the Hasbro level of give a shit, which is at the minimum. Back on this small topic of Star Trek Continues, which is a beautiful fan-made production of a TV show that should have been produced back in the 60s, but it wasn't. So we got it now in the 2000 teens, and here we are talking about it in 2024. This is
I just love the fact that they captured the essence of Star Trek to me. I remember watching it going, and I know I talked a lot because I can't help it. I talk a lot when I'm excited and when I see things because I'm afraid I'm going to forget to say it later. But when the way they opened and closed the doors when they went in and off set, like they're going to another part of the ship, the sound effects that they used, just little things like that. The actual screens on the table when they're talking to Starfleet, things like that. It just, my heart was pounding out of my chest because it was so refreshing to see something so well done to bring you back to nostalgia. I guess maybe it's because I was a kid. You know what I mean? When you see something as a kid, your first superhero, the way they speak, the costume they're wearing, just little things like that, and the feelings you had as a child, as a grown up, when you get to feel that, it makes you instantly feel young. I guess that's one of the reasons why we get so upset when we see them changing the uniforms for our superheroes when they're making these new movies, or when they make a new series, a TV series or a movie about our, like Star Trek or Star Wars or any of these other things that we grew up watching, and then we see them change the characters to opposite gender or two genders or their skin tone or anything. They make all these changes, and I was like, why? Why are they taking away from what we loved in the first place? If you liked it so much, why are you remaking it?
I can just see it now. Fucking here comes Viacom CBS. And now for our 2025 fall schedule, Saturday morning lineup, Jason of Star Command, starring Rosie O'Donnell as Jason. And I can just see this miserable shit that they're going to take all the things you ever had, you might have ever appreciated, all the franchises you watched as a child and you thought were safe because they weren't really that good. Like the Cleopatra and Electra Hour or some other stuff, and they're going to completely uglify the fuck out of it and turn it into like 700-pound blue-haired Manuel starring in every single one of them. You're going to be there looking at the TV schedule as to what Procter and Gamble and Pfizer are funding the commercial breaks with, and you're going to be like, "Oh, thank God I've got YouTube," or "Thank God I've got Rumble." I mean, there are people out there that they're like, "I just discovered BitChute, and it's not really popular, not a lot of uploads today, but there's so much good stuff from the past 5 years. Dude, there's some really good rants out there." Okay. If you're going to the internet just to watch people rant, you've discovered the joy of the internet, because that's all the internet is. That and cats.
Yeah, a lot of people, that's all they're wanting, is they're just wanting to troll other people, or they're wanting the drama effect of it, because they have no life, apparently, because my life has plenty of drama in it. I don't need to add to it. Just real life, trying to pay your bills, putting up with assholes while you're driving to the store. I mean, all that's enough drama for me. I just want to be able to watch shows I enjoy, that take me away from my problems. That's what it's called, entertainment, and that's what entertainment is supposed to be. It's supposed to take you away for a little while and entertain you. If the whole time you're sitting there going like this and you just want to throw something and damage your beautiful television set and not get to watch anything else, then why would you, put yourself in that position? I just don't see the reason to do that. To me, it's ridiculous. They're ruining entertainment. I mean, I have hardly watched anything on TV. I mean, there's been a few shows like The Boys, and then there was what was it, Yellowstone, just a few others that I thought were really good. But besides that, there just is not a lot out there. I mean, it's very sporadic. Who is this woman?
This is Mary Wiseman, I think. She plays Sylvia Tilly on Star Trek Disco, which is not real Star Trek. I mean, you might have paid for the name, but that's like, yeah, go ahead. It's Landwell Generation. And I'm not trying to fat shame on here, because, I mean, the girl's obviously got genetics to not be a size 2. She does if she wants to, like, amputate, like, her stomach and other parts of her internal organs for digestive tract, and she could shrivel up. I mean, she could be as skinny as Harvey Cthulhu, but this woman is not going to be a size 2. She's obviously meant to be womanly. And they've put her in a role to where they're trying to lie to you, just like somebody lies to you when they say, well, I identify as. It's the same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I identify as a Trekkie. I have an Endorian wig with the antenna. I have ears for when I'm a Romulan or a Vulcan. I have a short wig that I wear when I'm a Romulan. I have a blue uniform like this. I have this one. I have, other little trinkets, and I have tons of t-shirts. The boots that I'm wearing I made. I took a pair of old short ankle boots and I bought pleather and stuff and decorated, put a zipper in them and stuff so I could have something I could put on and off when I go to cons. And it's because I want to look like I belong in the old series. Because that's what I love. But the thing is, when I was older, like you were saying, older, I was watching Star Trek Next Generation, and I loved it too, because to me, it was a little more stylish, more up to date, and things like that. But I expected that. So I accepted it, okay, because it's the next gen, okay? And then when Deep Space Nine came out, I liked it, okay, and I loved Quark. I went to Quark's bar when I went to Vegas and ate, had Romulan ale, and oh man, it was fun. I spent the whole day, 7 hours, going through the Star Trek, like museum thing they have at the hotel there, and it was great, because anything that's new with Star Trek, I want to interject myself into if I can, but it's just sad to me that they can't get some actual fans that love Star Trek, to help write their shows and stuff. It just seems like CBS doesn't give a shit, just like Marvel doesn't seem to care. The different companies don't care anymore about tradition of where they came from, their ground base. If they took this show continues and put it on Rumble and some of these other platforms and started going out and getting all new people to watch it, the fact that they only have it on YouTube to me is sad, because YouTube doesn't deserve this great show with the way I see it.
And I think
normal people that watch this and try to emulate it or draw pictures and post them on their channel, they'll get in trouble. You'll get in trouble because you used Star Trek in any form to get clicks or to share with your friends or whatever it is. You get in trouble for it. They don't want to reward us for buying these things and making uniforms ourselves or anything. They don't want to thank their fans, and they just want to say a big F you to all of us because we love the original series. We love what Gene Roddenberry tried to come across with teaching us about working together and equality, that men and women, if they know their job, they can be successful if they work together, that type of thing,
This
I don't know.
right here is Mage's Musings at a Star Trek fan event.
It's good.
Yeah, looks great.
They both look awesome.
Yeah, you both do. You look fantastic, sir.
See, you can tell by just the way they're dressed that they love Star Trek, because they're willing to go out in public and show their love to other people they never met. Not very many people can do that for any show. Let alone a sci-fi, which means you're a nerd, you're a geek. You got a big billboard going blink, 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 proving that. And I love people like that. If I see someone in a uniform or a costume like that, I immediately want to go up and shake their hand and talk to them, because I know that I have something in common with them and that they'll understand me. Do what?
Something hugely in common with somebody. If you see them dressed like that, you automatically want to go up to them and say, "Hey, I love your outfit. What's your favorite episode, or what's your favorite moment in Star Trek?" And let them speak. And let them discuss. They'll tell you what they love. If you ask them for what they love, they'll tell you what they love about it. If you ask somebody what part of the original series did you not like, they'll like half of them will say the part where they were canceled after the third season. which, yeah, the third season's kind of weak compared to the season 1 and 2,
Mhm.
but it's all it's all subject to conjecture. Now the third season of Star Trek the original series, when you compare it to Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Picard, it's really a lot of Shakespeare compared to that.
Mhm.
I get complaints from people. They're like, well, you really just need to watch Picard season 3. No, I'm not going to watch Picard season 3. There should have never been a Picard season 3. The entire timeline is completely fucked up. Why not just watch Terminator Genesis and say, oh, this is canon? No, no, no. That was Terminator, the search for more money. And that's all that Star Trek is doing right now. The search for more, it's Viacom, the search for more money. So
Well,
I applaud the fact that people, do have the ability to forgive and try to forget. I don't. As much as I might say things like I'm a Christian, my ability to forgive show writers and creators for making crap and saying this is all part of the canonical storyline. This episode 1, this is amazing. This is a really good show. You guys will love the Phantom Menace. Oh, Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier. It's a good movie. No, it's not. But for Star Trek Continues, even the episode which I was warned about where they went back in time to the Civil War, I
mhm.
found that to be infinitely more watchable because I've watched it twice now. I found it to be infinitely more watchable than stuff that people have tried to show me on New Trek and New Star Wars. And I hate having to say that. Like, no, I've watched it to compared to current storytelling, and it fails. And this
Yeah, I
is
just want to tell everyone in the chat that I'm reading on your screen. I can't comment or say anything to anyone. It's on YouTube. I still have a strike, and I don't know when I'll be able to get on YouTube or put any content on there or even comment or anything. So I'm really sorry.
Janet. By the
I
way,
can.
you're getting huge on Twitter
Mhm.
because
Yeah, I
yesterday,
can see, but no one's saying anything over there. I'm watching my Twitter, but I'm just saying, a couple people have said something to me on your YouTube, and I can't. I just want them to understand. I'm not ignoring them. I just can't. I just can't say anything. I don't have any way to contact you guys. I'm sorry. I can't even get on my channel and contact you and say hi to you because I'm not allowed. So sorry. But the what you were saying earlier about it is that there's I don't know, there's something about getting to meet someone from Star Trek if you love it, or any of your famous people you love. Like I got to meet the whole cast of The Walking Dead at a con. I've gotten to meet so many people, gotten autographs and pictures. My house is filled with so much crap. I mean, other people come in and they go, what the, they freak out when they see especially my office. I had one guy come, he was working on cable, and he came in and he's looking around. And he's like, holy Jesus, you got a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, people are going to hate me when I die. And I have it, written in my will, all these different stuff, who's good and what, or whatever. But, because nobody's in my family is really into any of this stuff. So I'm not going to try to overwhelm anyone. I'm trying to just give one or two things to different people like that. And hopefully, someone, they'll sell it or whatever they want to do. But the thing is that I'm enjoying it. I like looking at it. I like reading it. I even have I have a series. It's called The Midnight Suns. Is a 6-issue series of comic books that I have. I have one set that I've opened and read. It took the posters out of the middle and everything, and then another one that's never been opened, simply because I just wanted to keep it. I bought, Groku. I've got everything. I've got so much stuff. I keep saying I'm gonna go on Klobby's channel and show some of my stuff, but I just haven't done it yet. But the thing is, I got so much
I've
stuff.
been at this panel 2 times now, and I've been trying to message you, like, Janet, get over here. I can get you in. Janet, get over here.
Okay, well, hopefully this next week or so, once you get on your regular schedule and we get set up,
it'll be next week.
yeah, I can start trying to work it during the week. Then now I can maybe go over to see Klobby or whatever, maybe do something or whatever. I would love to do that because I just adore him, and he lives where I used to be down there, so I know he understands what it's like down there. But the thing is that getting to meet someone from Star Trek, I got to be dressed as an Andorian, which I thought I'd never get to do, and I got to meet William Shatner and Christopher Lloyd and get both of their autographs in my Federation manual of planets, and it was awesome. Okay, no one that's worth more money than anyone would understand unless you're like me and you understand that I wouldn't take $1 million for my experience what I got to go through, and only other people like in my position would understand what I'm talking about. And because my sisters don't, I have 4 of them, and they just go, okay, whatever, you know. But the thing is, that's okay, and I don't mind. I don't mind being the nerd. I have no care at all. So I'm happy to be who I am. I'm happy that I got to watch Star Trek with my dad. And I'm thankful that I can absorb shows like Star Trek Continues and enjoy the everything about it. Every little thing, the little outtake thing that we got to watch, showing the guy underneath the thing pushing the little buttons up and down, and just little things like that. The people that made the sound effects for the doors, you know, the people that did the costumes and the makeup and all that for nothing, just for their love of this show and their love of Star Trek. Because you can't make any money. You cannot make one dime or you get sued. So, and then all the stars that they had from the original show and Star Trek Next Generation and the other different Star Trek shows that they were able to get to come and portray characters on this small 11 episode series was really cool too. I just thought that was awesome.
I couldn't believe that before I had blinked, 11 episodes had gone by. And the end of this leads so perfectly well. Spoiler alert, so perfectly well into the Star Trek the Motion Picture, complete with uniforms. And you're looking at this show just kind of flabbergasted, like, it's over. No, and it takes some wind out of your sails. You're like, this was so good. And it was a fantastic, I hate to say the word flex, but this was a flex of script writing excellence, of the ability to use assets that, as long as you're honoring the original series, you can use these. Use the space, the sound effects. Use the music. Use the incidental things that just add a little bit of flair and let you recognize, like, this is Star Trek. There are so many things about this that, from the first episode to the 11th, you're kind of kicking yourself going, how did they make this? How much money they got permission? It was literally one of those things where they had a battle plan. They made a script. They said, here, we're going to use these assets. We need to spend this much money. We're going to do this. We're not going to take a dime for this because it's a passion project. And as much as that hurts me to read that, just for the fact that, like, this is real Star Trek, like, I get it. Now, there's a lot of other Star Trek projects out there. I'm not really going to probably endeavor to watch all of them, just like I'm not going to watch Kurt's Trek because I don't like Kurt's that much. I watched the 3 Star Trek films with Chris Pine, and those are enjoyable popcorn fodder. That's about it. The Star Trek projects that are out there are not to the level of Star Trek Continues from what I've seen so far. And I don't mean to unfairly judge them, but I only have 24 hours in a day. And while I do love Star Trek, I don't love it that much because they've given me things like Star Trek Discovery. And I'm still a little sore over that. They said, what was it, 3 years ago? We've got it for free on this website. Come watch it. And I watched the first episode and I immediately forgot everything about it except for the fact that the lady that we've never heard about before is Spock's half sister. I'm done. I'm done. This sums it up. After being in a creative desert with Hollywood and cable TV for way too long, coming across Star Trek Continues was refreshing. Yes, you have the first episode, which brings back a character from the original series, the god Apollo, and he watches his love die, and you realize that there's something larger at stake, and the Enterprise, within 50 minutes of wonderful celluloid media, shows you the problem, reaction, solution that is enacted and allows Apollo to regain some semblance of the existence he wants. And with that one episode, I felt like I was completely in good hands to trust them with my time. Because that's really the commodity that I always think of the most whenever I'm getting ready to watch a show or series. And I've heard for 30 years about Babylon 5, so I'm now watching Babylon 5. And
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I fell in love with it. I kick myself for ignoring it for 30 years, but I'm watching it now. It's just a shame that the Babylon 5 conventions only possibly have like 3 or 4 surviving people to go sign autographs, because everybody else died. Like whatever the drinking water situation was around there, like it didn't fare well for them. The Garibaldi, the doctor, Mira
Well,
Furlong,
when was that? When was that made?
93 to 97 or so. I think it was like that. No, 93 to 90, 98. And it
Mhm.
was a 5-year show, and they did 5 seasons, and the majority of the season 1 crew is alive at a 51% basis.
Yeah.
They're 30 years later, like whatever it was they ate, they had like too much of, or maybe it was real alcohol they were drinking on set. I don't know, but most of them are gone that you see in season 1. Not most, but like very close to half. And it's just sad, whereas it took till 1998, 99, James Doohan passes away. No,
Mhm.
DeForest Kelly was the first to pass away, if I remember right. Then was James Doohan. It just, it took him, about 35. Wow, 30 years for both series before both they started having people pass on. Okay, now I'm sad. Anyway, it was just very sad to watch that. And Duhan and James DeForest Kelly are both, almost 30 years to their, 25 years since their death, and we're coming
Mhm.
across those anniversaries. Whereas this show here, Babylon 5, it didn't take very long at all for the crew to start passing away.
Well, if you remember, a lot of the stars were already, look middle aged when they were
Yeah,
on the show. They had a more of a mature cast than you would normally see in a new show. But I think they had to do that because they showed a lot of the storylines about the characters, that they were like troublemakers in the job before, and they'd already lost these other star bases, right? Basically, so they needed
for them.
experienced people that knew how to work with other people, and even if they weren't the very best at the top, they were willing to go there, knowing that they might not be there very, very long, right? So, and they worked well together. They all had this understanding with each other, and the intricate stories behind each of the different aliens that go there to become ambassadors and things like that to help work with the world, that type of thing. With Earth, I thought was that's what made the stories very exciting, was the fact that we could one day, not in my lifetime, or probably not in a lot of lifetimes, but one day be able to have something like that for real with actual other beings. And that was one of the things that I remember that I loved about Star Trek, was the way that they integrated the other beings that approached us, because of our intellect. Finally, we reached warp speed. We were able to do that, and that's what that brought attention to our planet, and they said, okay, these people have finally evolved enough to where we can bring them in. To me that was so believable as a young kid watching this, because to me that made sense that I believe in aliens. So to me, it made sense that they finally said, well, they're not just killing each other. Now they're wanting to come out and kill everyone else. So now we have to approach them and let them know that these are the rules, out here, type of thing. So I don't know. I just thought that was a really good way of Gene Roddenberry having us join with other planets, that had high technologies and things. That's why when they went to these other planets, for whatever reason, because their sun was about to explode or something like that, that we weren't allowed to go there and change things. And we had to try to fit in so no one would notice us. Even the whole movie with Spock wearing the band on his head to cover up his pointed ears, just little things like that. I thought were just, I thought it was great. I mean, I just loved it. I wish I could have been been older, so that maybe I could have met Gene Roddenberry in person. That would have been really, really cool. If they ever did make a hologram that you could actually interact with, people like that is somebody that I'd pay my money to be able to interact with that person.
That's coming, Janet, because right now they're trying to show us, like, hey, here's a skit that George Carlin never aired, but through AI we can do it, and they give you that. They're pantomiming Beatles to sing songs they never written. It's going to be like that, and I don't think really you'd want to meet Gene Roddenberry, because you'd be like, oh, Janet, if you'd swing by my trailer later, yeah, I have a proposition for you. And you hit
well, I can tell you right now, half of Hollywood probably already does that now, and they've probably been doing it since the beginning of time. So that's just human nature. People are gonna try to take advantage of other people and get something from someone else for something. Say, hey, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. That type of thing. So I'm not gonna say anything about Gene Roddenberry, because we do know a little bit about his relationships that we know about. That's just what was public. But the thing is that I guarantee that goes on with everybody. And I'm not saying they're all pedophiles and they're all rapists or ones that drug you, and make sure you're unconscious before they play around with your body, and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a bunch of psychos out there, even politicians. I don't care what churches, they all do it. But that means that we just have to be more diligent about, don't go places with strangers you don't know, no matter who they are, by yourself. Make sure you have a witness with you whatever you do, all that stuff. And hopefully people will learn from that. And the thing is that, I'm like that. I've had death threats. I've had people say they're going to be waiting for me outside my apartment and slit my throat in my sleep and all kinds of stuff. And I'm nobody. So I can't even imagine what some of these big stars and famous politicians or sports people and all these other people go through. It's scary. I mean, look how long it took me to give you my number. And we did this stuff together for a while before I finally said, okay, I'm gonna give you a phone number, because it's scary. And I tell guys the same thing. Just because you're a guy does not mean that you're not vulnerable to some psycho that can come into your house and kill you or drug you or do something to you. So don't trust people, don't just say, oh, well, this person is who they say they are, so I trust them. I mean, I get so many scammers every week. So I don't care if they're a Star Trek fan, a comic book fan, or any other fan. You got to be careful. Everyone. And you got to watch out for your kids too, even if they're not yours. If you see something going on with a kid that you feel suspicious about, you should, tell the authorities.
I was just referencing the Grace Lee Whitney stories from The Longest Trek, where she describes how, even after Star Trek had gone over, Gene Roddenberry was still very much interested. He's like, hey, you want to go get a drink? He's, like trying to open the door, like, my love life is shit right now. What are you doing? And she's like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm just living out of my car. No big deal. Give me a job and we'll talk. But I need a job more than I need somebody inside me. And he was always a horn dog. God bless the
Yeah.
man. And with Grace Lee Whitney, I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have a hard time forgetting about my penis with her around. She was absolutely my penis would be
Well,
like, box,
women
box,
don't have
box.
real women don't have penises, so we don't have to worry about people noticing that we are turned on, if you know what I'm saying. But women get turned on too. Anyone that says women don't have feelings or they don't notice guys get that they're attractive, even though it's different. Okay, some men are attracted to boobs, some are legs, some are butts, some are smiles, but it's just same thing with women. Women are attracted to smiles, nice eyes, or just the way they approach you and things that they might say. There's so many different things that people are attracted to. So, if a guy the only thing he ever says is, wow, you got big tits, or you got a nice ass, something like that, guess what? I don't spend a lot of time with that person, because to me that shows me that's all he's interested in. If he's not interested in having a conversation, and once in a while saying, wow, man, you look hot, or something like that, it makes you feel good. But if that's all they talk about, then to me that tells me they're not interested in a relationship. They're just interested in going to get on Tinder. So go get Tinder then. And I tell people all the time, I'm on Twitter not for a date. It's not a dating app. So why are you sending me this shit? So, I'm not going to give them any information. I'm not going to give them my phone number, my email, or nothing if they're a dick or an asshole. So, and I think everybody should do that. Oh, look at her. So pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I love that wig. That wig, and they could try to beat that thing with a sledgehammer, and it would
Well,
move.
it had that I Dream of Jeannie style, and that was big back in that era. So,
Oh, wow.
'cause most women didn't have that much hair to wrap around the top of their hair once they made a bun or a ponytail. So they'd have a hairpiece for it. I remember my mom her hair was really long and she cut it off up to, like her shoulder length. And she took that hair and had little buns made out of it. So she could like go to the bowling alley and just pin a bun in, and she didn't have to fix her hair. So, because she had 5 kids. So, women are able, like me, I wear wigs every week when we do our show, depending on what color or what theme the show is. But, and then other times I just wear my regular hair. It just depends on what's going on. But the ease of being able to do that is really nice. And it really does make the theme of whatever they're doing, like this Orion slave girl or the Andorians hairstyle. There's the Klingon women, that think that human women are hideous. So you have to have the skull cap and then the hair piece or whatever that goes with it. I just loved it. Whoever did all that stuff for this series, they were excellent. I couldn't find any flaws. I went back and I was watching things over, and I guess I'm biased because I just loved it. I mean, I had tears in my eyes. I felt like I was going to cry watching by the time we got to the end of the very first episode, because I said, oh my God, this is so good. I get emotional thinking about it.
Watching Adonis wreck the Enterprise and Pilgrim of Eternity was fantastic. And the way they resolved it really made it to where it felt like it was the literal best outcome for all involved.
Yeah.
And the fact it was only supposed to be 2 years between that episode and the episode of the original series where they first met Apollo, where I believe it's called Whom Words for Adonis, but Apollo was a very young man when they filmed that, and now here he is 50 years later. The actor's 50 years older, and so he can't, he looks a little different. And I believe that was his wife from the first episode, or from the episode from back then, and they filmed her, and then like not long afterwards, she actually passed, from what I understand. Then that that episode, where like we both of us were just kind of shocked, like, is this real? Did they actually make this? And then we watched Lilani, and you have the Orion slave girl that she's trying to get out of the situation she's in. And boy, that was just that is, I know this sounds bad. The second episode for me was a penultimate like high water mark. Not quite the high water mark for me, but it's like really damn close. Because Lilani is so it's just an emotional roller coaster. And watching her try to go through everything, and McKenna's there trying to be by her side and solve all problems. McKenna, for crying out loud, as much as I despise like Counselor Deanna Troy and the emotional batshit crazy that she brings, McKenna brings a different level of batshit crazy, which I just appreciate watching. And I could, her story arc, I felt, was one of the more interesting story arcs in the entire Star Trek original series canon, because she goes through all of the stages, and then when she gets to her resolution, when she gets to where she's ready for whatever happens, it's all on the line. Like,
Yeah.
it just bombards you. And then you have Lou Ferrigno, and he stars as a as Zamenhof, excuse me. Between him and Fiona Vroom, who plays Lilani, that's one of the better episodes of Star Trek you'll ever watch.
You're talking about the slave girl one, right? With
yes, with
the Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really, really good one, and I was impressed on how well they did. They replicated all of it, and and I forget that Scotty's son from the series plays Scotty in this series. Yeah,
that's
it's
why
great.
his accent's so perfect. I mean,
but her animal magnetism, the young actress that played this slave girl, was really, really good. Yeah, Lou Ferrigno. Isn't that Lou Ferrigno?
It is. He's still a beast.
Yeah, he is. He takes good care of himself. But the thing is that he did a good job at playing a slave owner too. He was very. They just did a great job. I felt. It's almost like I felt honored. Even though it was my time, my electricity, and everything, it was like I would have paid money. That's a sad fact too. That's why I said if they could do this and take donations for charity or something that CBS, who isn't it CBS that owns Star Trek
right now?
Yeah,
Warner Brothers is in talks apparently to try to build Star Trek Studios. Which, if Warner Brothers does that, I think from what they're talking about, they're trying to get a hold of all Star Trek properties and put it under one roof.
I know, but that's what kills me is the thought of them making something is not appealing to me. If they take these people that made this series, all the different aspects of the writing, the directorial people, the editing people, I mean, every aspect, the people that did the costumes and the set building and the everything, you take a little bit, take all of them in and say, okay, we're offering all of you positions in our company that we're starting from scratch, from zero, and this is what we want, and we want to see you guys go to work. That would be like, oh my God, they finally care about the people like me that love Star Trek original series, where it comes from, the beginning. Oh, if they did that, it would be heaven.
This is Erin Gray, woman you that are children of the 70s. I remember that show. God, that was so good.
But see the monitor? Look at the monitor. The picture on the monitor looks like it's from the original series. Little things like that. Even the background in her scene is good. I mean, I don't know. I can't explain any different. It was awesome. I mean, it was so awesome. I'm telling everyone I know, I said, please watch the first episode. It's campy. It's got everything. If you loved the original series, I don't see how you could not love this. I really don't.
It's the best Trek you're going to get while you're alive. Until until Western society gets rid of DEI, it's the best you're going to get, and that really makes me sad. It's one of the best ways to spend 9 hours of your life is to watch Star Trek Continues.
Oh, I got to interrupt again. Sorry. Joe's Atmosphere, I can't post and I can't respond to anything you write on YouTube. I'm not allowed to use my YouTube channel. So I can't say thank you for my his compliment. I'm sorry. I can only talk to you on X or on Rumble because I can't use my YouTube. Sorry. Okay.
Another good shot of Zamahan, excuse me, the Lou Ferrigno.
It was great. He did such a good job. I bet he had fun too. I would love to interview all these people, all the big stars that went on there on the show for the bit parts. Basically, it's because they're nobodies. You know, they didn't get any fame from it. You know what I mean? They weren't allowed to make any money or anything. It was all donated time and effort on all of their parts. I would love to interview or just sit and talk to these people.
That set screams Star Trek 1960s, and they did it in 2013.
Yes, they did an excellent job. Yeah, she's so pretty. She did such a good job.
Those two were a pair up until a couple years ago, and then they went their separate ways. That's sad. Mm-hmm. He's a handsome devil of a man, but he's had some crap about him, and I don't know what happened, and I don't really care. But it's all because of the Me Too bullshit, which actually I feel if you just have a penis, you're at risk of like offending somebody. So whatever.
Isn't that sad? If you have a real penis and you like it, and you like having a real penis, you're the enemy. But if you have a real penis, but you want to tuck it between your legs and put some real boobs on, everyone loves you. So I don't want to live on that planet.
No.
I want a real man. I don't want I don't know what they call all these other people.
So Ferrigno had more lines in this episode than he ever spoke through the entire whole series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I remember us talking about that.
What's also funny is that Fiona Broom, the young green lady in this movie or in this episode, she had a cameo in Star Trek Beyond. She was an Orion crew member in the captain's log scene.
Yeah.
He was in the first voiced a character in the first two Avenger films on the original series. Creature growls were provided by Charles Napier, who also appeared in Star Trek and Hulk 2003. Bruce Banner was played by Eric Bana, who also appeared in Star Trek 2009. Not best Star Trek, but it felt kind of okay. Not really. Kirk looks like he's having trouble focusing while reading at the beginning of the episode, and it's a subtle nod which alludes to the needing glasses to read, as shown later in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. Saurian brandy bottle, which appeared in several episodes of the original series, appears in this episode in the dinner for Zamahan. There's two bottles on the table. Distinctive shaped bottle with red leather straps is actually a modified George Dickel 1964 commemorative edition powder horn whiskey bottle. The Orion ship used by Zemahan is based on late 1960s AMT model spaceship kit. The SCC Leif Erikson. This model kit is also designed by Matt Jeffries, chief designer of Star Trek's USS Enterprise. The Leif Erikson was also used as a source for the description of the ship MacArthur from Larry Niven in Jerry Pournelle's science fiction novel, The Mote in God's Eye. I have yet to read that. I'm sorry.
I want to say one thing about what Mages Musing said. He says, "Did you see Vic's turn as Zap Brannigan in the Futurama fan film?" Okay, I love Futurama. I've been trying to get Bruce to watch it for years because I just love it. I just adore everything about that show, Futurama. And if we could get the actor that played Kirk on this and get him to do a skit dressed as Zap Brannigan, I think that would be, I would pay to see that. I mean, I think he'd be hilarious, and I think he could do a good job doing it.
He'd be great.
I think he would. Yeah, I would too. I think it'd be really good. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that out. Sorry. Go ahead.
The actor for McCoy, Larry Nemechek, he played a Tellarite crewman for the episode. And Matt Jeffries, credited as USS Enterprise, Tellarite, and Orion ship design. He's the art director and production designer in all 3 seasons of Star Trek, the original series. This guy right here, he's responsible for all the ships you love.
Well, all that was really good too. All the the outside of the ships going through space and all that. It was all it just all looked original to me. It looked like the same people that made the original Star Trek were involved in making this 11 episodes. And I love the fact that they filled the gap in leaving us from the last episode on TV until the movie about Beeger, which I loved. And I know a lot of people hated the movies, but if they had the original people, I don't give a shit how campy or stupid it was to other people. I still watch them because I just love them. I just love those people. I love who they are. I love everything about Star Trek with the originals in it. Sorry. I know that a lot of people don't, but I do.
Quite okay.
Oh, Mage Musing is saying that he did do it. So I got to go watch that. Can you bookmark that for me or something?
Yeah.
Because I can't copy anything off of that and go to my channel with that from here. Are you in my Discord?
Mage's Musings? Are you in her Discord?
Because you could send me the link.
Oh, wow. I'll get the link for her real quick, and I'll get the link.
Yeah, you're right. The thing is, it isn't, and a lot, I guess. But the thing is, if you pay attention to everything that they've been doing when it comes to Star Trek, when it comes to movies and series, they haven't been making anything to make money, apparently, to me, because they haven't tried to get people like me to want to watch them each week. I mean, if they had a show like Continues on TV, I wouldn't plan anything on whatever night that was supposed to come on. I would be waiting with bated breath to watch this new show, and I'd probably invite people over, make popcorn or hot dogs or chili dogs or something, and enjoy watching it. But they haven't made anything in such a long time that I would even spend any time and effort to even prepare to watch, because it just sucks. Thank you so much for sending me that. I will definitely go check it out after we're finished.
Janet's gonna have,
because we can't go on and on now, because Bruce will have to get off so he can go to bed for his new job. So
new job. Sorry, guys.
No, that's good. That gives you a time limit, so we have to squeeze in as much as we can in the time we're allotted.
We watched all 11 episodes of this. In fact, we had some friends tell us about this for years before we got a chance to watch it, before we made time to watch it. And that's just the thing. Is this worth your time? Absolutely. All 11 episodes are good. Even the Civil War episode, which everybody said, oh, it sucks. It's still marginally, gratuitously better than anything that's being produced today. And there are some small problems with it, but it's not a poor episode. It's a rather rich episode. It has a lot of hyperbole. It has a lot of what if-isms. It has a lot of conjecture, but it's still so much better than anything I've seen in the past 10 or 15 years. Phrasing in context, people. Yeah, that was the last Star Trek I watched.
Well, is what he was saying with the Scott Bakula. Yeah, that's the last time I watched anything on TV. And I thought it was pretty good.
I liked what I saw. I just need to watch all of it. That's the main thing, main takeaway. I want to watch it. I just have not. I have to give this probably, well, for those of you in the chat that have seen all 11 episodes of Star Trek Continues, I do want to know your ratings. I want to know your scores because we're talking about something that's sacrosanct to many of us. You don't step on Star Trek. No, it's like the snake. No step on snake. Um, Star Trek for many people is a bedrock of their fiction fandoms. That as a kid they want to grow up and be in Starfleet. As a young adult, they have all the idealism and they think it'd be great. And then when you get to be older, even you see we're like, well, Starfleet probably doesn't have everything right. I kind of like money. I'm not into space communism. I like a lot of the things that Star Trek does, though. And you start looking at it in a different lens, and you weigh all the emotional beats that the original series had, and this show fits right in.
Mm-hmm.
It it's really fucking good, and I can't.
It's
I
like
can't.
something you have to go in your closet and watch because you're going to get in trouble. I mean, I'm like sneaking
I
around
will,
to watch.
I will watch this show in broad daylight with a Speedo on, Janet.
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm saying that it's like a guilty pleasure. It's almost like something you feel like you gotta sneak around to do it. You know what I mean?
Want to be seen, if there's something that I don't want people to see me watching, it'll be Star Trek Next Generation and Star Trek Voyager. Because what I've seen of those two, I could live without. Like, there's probably really good episodes in single bites. Yes, they're good episodes for them. One of the best ones I've seen is one where Scotty is caught in a teleporter relay in season 6 of Next Generation, and they rescue him. And then they give him a shuttle at the end, and he gets to go live his life as Scotty, which for me, that's a far better end than he died at his home. You know, that has happened in real life. I think it's better like that because am I going back to the menagerie and how much it affected me to where, like, for me, Betty White's not dead. She's sitting on the edge of a dock at Lake Placid feeding baby alligators. Yeah. For me, that's where Betty White's at. If I want to go see Betty White, she's at Lake Placid, which I'm never going to go to because I don't give a shit about Lake Placid. But she's feeding baby alligators. That's how the movie ends, and that's how she's living right now. She's over 100. She just decided not to talk about it or celebrate it.
Yeah.
And my brain will do weird things like that just so I don't suffer grief on the long term. I'm like, I really miss this person. Oh, I really miss. I've done that with family members. I've done that with friends. I've done that with people I don't know. There's a whole group of people that moved to a town that I have no idea where it's at. But in my head, I didn't go to the funeral, so I didn't have to worry about that finalization. And for me, it's just how I process things. It's kind of like when you think about the menagerie. Do you want to live in fantasy and have at least one small lie comforting you, or do you want the god awful honest truth where you're going to die sitting in a Stephen Hawking chair, falling around a woman that back in the day you and her were both hot and young and virile, and you couldn't keep a limp penis around her. Everybody was hot for her. And you're now chasing her wheelchair and your Stephen Hawking chair, and you're trying to zoom around Kroger, getting your baby food because it's the only food your mouth can process. What do you want?
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Give me a fucking hologram.
Because when you look at your children as they get older, you still see them as your child. That doesn't change, and it's the same thing. I think when you fall in love with someone, it's the same. When you're really in love with them, you see them for what they are, not for what other people see their physical outsides look like. That's why some people don't see you in 20 years. They see you and they, holy shit, you gotten old, something like that. Or the person that you see every day, they don't see that you've changed so much. They just see what they want to see because they love you. They accept you with your pimples or your gray hairs or your wrinkles, or you got a couple stretch marks or whatever it is. They don't care if they really love you because they can see past that. And if you expect others to see you that way, you have to be willing to see them the same. And, I still believe in true love, even though, a lot of people might never get it because it's that rare, I feel. And not everyone will have it. but I wish they could, but it's just not possible for everyone because it's a rare thing. And that's why I think it's so adorable when I get to see two older people hand in hand walking down the road. You know, you don't know whether they just met or they've been together for, 50 years. We don't know that. But the thought of it in my mind is how romantic it is that they've been together for so long, because that's everybody's fantasy when you're meet someone and you think you're in love. You just want to spend the rest of your life with them, at least in your heart. That's what you're thinking. So
I want to be
that's why.
70 years old and have somebody palm me some Viagra so I can chase her around in a wheelchair that's stiff penis and no blood going to my head.
But I feel that way every time I going to stand in line for over an hour just to meet William Shatner. And then I finally get my way up there and I'm wearing my Andorian outfit and I've been dabbing my makeup to make sure my bluish makeup still looked good when I got up there, and I'm fixing my antenna and all that. And I get there and I hand him my book and he looks up and he goes, "Wow, you went all out." And I was like, "Yes, yes, sir," or whatever like that. And he said, "Well, you did a great job, and I hope you're having a great time here." And I said, "I am." And then he said, "What's your name?" And I almost stood there for a second. I didn't even know what to say because I was so shocked that I was finally getting to meet. I can't say it. He was so nice to get to meet him in person. He was a wonderful man, and I'm so thankful to God that I finally got to meet him, because I looked up to him ever since I was a kid, and I just thought it was awesome. And I'm glad he's a healthy, wonderful man, and he gets to enjoy his life, and I hope he keeps doing it for a long time. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
This is emotional for me because I know I'll get to never do this with my dad again. And I hope the other dads are sharing, or grandpas are sharing this experience with other young children. Even if it's not Star Trek, but getting to do traditional things with your loved ones, because we need it. We need families to stay together and have something to look forward to each week that includes being with the people you care about, people that you love. Sorry.
This is an emotional thing because, like, both of us, we grew up and we had our dads next to us while we're watching Star Trek, the original series. And here's something like, for decades we had a sequel. There's a new version of Star Trek coming out, and I'm not going to lie, I watched The Next Generation. I recorded it. It's on beta. The amount of times I put those beta tapes back in the VCR to watch and rewatch the Enterprise with Picard and Wesley and all those fucking people that I just can't stand.
Well, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I'm sorry. I can't. It's Next Generation is a 61% for me. I've only watched the first 2.5 seasons. I gave up on it because it bores the shit out of me. Everybody's so happy and friendly, and there's a lot of drama behind the set, but we can't let that bleed out on the show. We can't let the animosity and the people being realistic to each other, can't let that be a thing. Next Generation's all about you're all a bunch of fucking emotionless robots, and the duty of the Federation is most important. And what we had in Star Trek, the original series, is gone. It's fucking gone. And I hate the Next Generation. I need to watch it all the way through so I can give you my fury and unbridled fucking passion of fuck you. This is not Gene Roddenberry's vision. This is Gene Roddenberry wanting another house. But there's something that happens afterwards, and it's called Deep Space Nine. And with the one season of that I've seen so far, I enjoyed. I really enjoyed. And then Voyager came out, and I'm like, oh, this is great. We get 2 seasons of Star Trek at once, 2 episodes or 2 series at the same time. And Voyager was like, we're lost in space, but don't worry, we got enough food, we got enough water, we can make infinite food. We're communists, we're space communists. We can just generate steaks out of nothing. And I'm like,
yep,
fuck you. and I like the actors that are on that show. I just don't like Voyager because Battlestar Galactica did it right, and
But the
fucking
thing
Voyager
is,
pissed me
when
off.
you take anything, a Marvel comic book or a DC comic or Star Wars or Star Trek, and you have new people come in and they start to write it, okay, and they make some changes in the characters or where it's going to be located, the story's coming from, or who the story's about. When they start making those kind of changes and they're very subtle and they're accepted, then the next people that come in and take over and say, we're going to make a few more changes. So each time they do it very subtly, then the next thing you know, you didn't watch the two in between, but then you see the third one and you're like, who in the hell made this? You because you got busy, you had things going on in your life or whatever, and now it's not what you want to watch. You just say, well, I'm not watching this shit. Because it's crap or whatever. And it's because we've slowly gave away what we loved and accepted the tiny changes they made until now it's no longer anything to do with what we loved. And we're doing that with everything in our lives. We're doing it with our homes. We're doing it with our jobs, in our cities, in our towns, in our country. And how can that not trickle down to your things that you love when it comes to TV and comic books, cartoons, music, everything? It trickles into everything. The tentacles just reach out and suck up everything and suck everything dry. And it's up to people like us that love whatever it is that we love and try to keep it that way. And by showing we're not going to buy your products, just like what people did. People were so upset with what happened with the Bud Light crap. They stood up and said, F you, we're not buying your stuff. And if enough people stand up against it, guess what? It took a little while, but it stopped. And they did make a difference at the very beginning with all the football stuff, when the people were boycotting the beginning because they were doing something about the annual or the anthem or something. I don't remember because I don't watch football, sorry. But I remember people arguing about it and being upset. And people said they weren't going to watch it. Well, it did make a difference for a little bit, but it didn't take very long until people started watching it again.
How dare
and then
not watch these prima donnas making millions of dollars a year throw around pigskin? How dare she? Sorry.
The thing is that I was talking to some people. This was, I guess, last year or the year before. And I was like, I thought you said you weren't watching football anymore. They go, well, I'm watching. I just don't watch the opening. And I'm like, okay, I guess that really hurts them really bad. You're still tuning in. So to me, it's the same thing. When you compromise your principles because you just can't go without a Sunday to watch something, you wouldn't even have to do it every week. You just say, okay, this 1 month, all my friends, everybody else get together and you're not going to watch football for 1 month. Don't give the NFL your money or turn the TV on and watch it as a rerun. If you watch it as a rerun, even though you already know who won and everything, it hurts them. It hurts them in ad revenue and stuff. And that's the only way we can affect these people because they're so huge. You have to take $1 billion from them before they're going to notice it. And, until people are sick and tired of whatever it is that they keep cramming down your throat, until we stand up for it, that's the way it's going to be. That's why I want as many people as I can get to watch this show, because even though these people aren't going to make any money off of it, and YouTube is the one that's going to make all the profits, okay? Sucks. All the ads that they're making from all of us tuning in because it's so good. It sucks to know that YouTube is making money off of these people. I think that if I was CBS, I would say I want all the ad revenue to go to this charity. That's what I would do. Something like that. I don't know why they can't do that. YouTube shouldn't be able to make millions and millions of dollars off of so many years of people watching, Star Trek Continues. I wish that there was a way to fix that, but there isn't. That's why I wish that the people that own this could start pushing it out on other places to make money as charity or whatever, or something. I really wish they could do that because it just really chats my butt. And even before I got this other strike, because I'd already gotten in trouble before, I said the same stuff. Okay, it hasn't stopped me from saying what I believe about YouTube. When they say you can't say pedophile, they want you to say minor attracted persons, things like that. I've been saying it. Okay, and I'm still going to say it. So I might never get my channel back. They might never let me because they care more about pedophiles than they do about kids. And to me, that's disgusting. And that shows who they are. And if I could take all my stuff, all my subscribers that I have right now that I wish I could provide, stuff for you to watch. If I could get all of you to come to Rumble and watch me, or to X and watch me, I would do that. I would be happy to keep making. I am making stuff. I'm still making stuff. I'm putting it on my TikTok because people don't all like TikTok. I'm only like 30 something away from 10,000 on there. I have Instagram, and I'm putting content on there, but I can't put it on YouTube because YouTube doesn't want my content. Now, what's funny is friends of mine that have watched my videos, they said there's ads on there, and I go, yeah, I know. And I almost all make shorts. They're making money off of my videos, but I'm not, and I haven't since I started because I'm not monetized. And it's the way things are going, I'm never going to be, but I can't help it. I make what I believe in. I make what I think is fun and funny. And sometimes I tell a story, sometimes I don't. And that's why I started the shit show, was because I loved a show that I was on with Drew Taylor. I absolutely loved that show. And his, a lot of things happened in his life, and we didn't get to do it anymore. So I decided, once Bruce showed me how to go live and how to do a lot of things. I've learned so much from Bruce. I'm so thankful for getting to meet him, thanks to his wife. It's the only reason I'm even doing a little bit that I'm doing is because of Bruce. And I'm getting to play my live games on Saturdays with him, and I'm enjoying that. And I've learned so much, and I'm very appreciative to him. And if it wasn't for him and his friends, I never would have gotten to watch this series. So I've gotten to do so many things in the last year and a half since I met Bruce that I probably never would have done. And I just want to say thank you to Bruce for that. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Janet, you always had it within you to be a gamer. And if it wasn't me, somebody else would have gotten a hold of you and showed you these things, I would hope. And I hope that they would still try to keep a healthy mindset with you. You're one of my best friends. I'm going to miss you on Monday nights. I know that much. But we still have Discord, and we're going to be talking still on probably on a daily basis. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going to do Girl Guy movie. It just is going to have a different time. That's all. What I do look forward to is being able to share more time with you on various projects we've got. Talking about I don't think it's going to be Monday nights. I think we're going to try to squeeze it in either like a afternoon or morning after this week, because I'll be switching from early morning shift to afternoon shift. 12-hour days, 5 days a week. But what we've got going on is we still have a full docket of things, and I want to make sure that Janet is able to be part of that, because if not, it's not going to be a Girl Guy in a movie. It's going to be Bruce ranting and raving like a lunatic. Speaking of ranting and raving, but not quite like a lunatic, we've got our friend, 6 Nation 31 Kings. He gives a solid 95% out of Warp Factor 9. We've touched all the points with production, writing, and love of the franchise. This ranks right up there with my love of The Thing and Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I agree with them. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to give this series a 9.8. And the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because it isn't original Star Trek. That's the only reason. But that's how much I love it. It made me feel like I was watching the original series. It really did. It's everything about it is so good. And if you love the original series, you love the campiness, the quirkiness, the stories, sometimes the over-the-top dramatic things that they would do, all that. I don't know how they did it. They captured all that for me. I just loved it. I thought it was so good, and I think anyone that loves Star Trek would love this series. And I'm so thankful that I was able to watch it and get to be entertained, because this is something I will share with everyone I know that loves Star Trek, and I watch it over and over again.
I would unabashedly watch this again, and I have started watching it again. It's one of the best examples of love for property,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think we're going to have something quite take its place off this high mantelpiece for
Mm-hmm.
many years. And I let me say something. I want to be wrong. I would love somebody to come along and say, you know what? I need to make a Star Wars movie for no profit for me, but I need it to be real Star Wars. And they make real fucking Star Wars. Or somebody says, you know, I want to make a real whatever franchise, but I want to show it some love. For fan fiction, this is about as good as it gets. I would love to see better. I would. But the only thing that for me really ever came close to this is the Karate Kid's Cobra Kai, and
Yeah,
that's
it was good
making
too.
money. That's making a lot of money, and it's got the original people working on it, and it's got some script writers that don't want to lose their jobs, and so they're writing for the people that love the original movies. So, if you want to see something like this, that's about where you have to go. You have to go to Cobra Kai, and I hate saying that, but it's where we're at. Yeah, I would rather just ignore the prequels, and in my head, the Thrawn trilogy is episode 7, 8, and 9, and that's it. And Disney never bought them. You know, all that shit never happened. It's like Betty White sitting on the dock feeding alligators. That's how that movie ends. That's how she's living right now. That's how Bruce gets from Monday to Friday. I don't put much thought past that. I'm very happy to to lie to myself like that and not even worry about the consequences, because I know at some point in my head I'll be like, well, this family member died. In my head, how would they actually be wanting to go on if they weren't resting in a coffin somewhere? And I have to think about that, and either I accept the fact they're gone, or I just tell myself I'll see them later.
Mm-hmm.
It's the entire ending of the menagerie, where you are given a choice to where you can look at the ugly truth of things and accept that this is where you're at, or just for a moment you remember of what somebody was like in their prime with their virility, and you don't really worry about how they're aging and turning 80 years old and unable to walk or run, unable to do the work in their garage like they used to 20 years ago. Their body's not exactly in the greatest shape. 70 years of eating hamburger helper, what can it do to you? So it and Mage's Musings understands exactly what I said there. There's no Star Wars sequels. What are you on about?
Mm-hmm.
For Star Trek Continues, Janet gives it a 98, 9.8. Bruce is going to give it a 96. This is the second highest rated item I've ever looked at since I've started doing this little thing with Janet. And this is by far one of the most, I guess you'd say, emotionally charged episodes we've done with this, because we're both going through the emotions of, we watched this with our fathers, we watched this as children, and then we
Mm-hmm.
watched it as adults, and we got finally a chance to see it continue and come to its conclusion right before the motion picture continues. And through all that, you have a really good cast, you have amazing production. The saddest part is that McKenna dies at the end. Spoilers. And you
Mm-hmm.
hear the musical notes there. It's almost like they have some notes from Wrath of Khan in it. It's a very good show. It's a very good usage of your time. 9 hours. It's so amazing. This is this is as good as it's going to get for right now in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the chance to make some popcorn for your family and invite friends over that have never seen this, if your close acquaintances are into Star Trek, if you guys can do the live long and prosper motion with your hands, this is the way to do it. This is how you introduce them. Mage's Musings. I'm very sorry to read that. One of my friends, Connell, who is absent right now. He's in. Last we knew, he was in a hospital next to his daughter. His daughter. She was in a really bad accident Friday night, and we don't know the status of it. I assume it's serious as hell. His ex-wife is in the same hospital, to my knowledge. It's a bad accident. He's okay. He's going to be a wreck if the worst happens. He's going to be a wreck if the best happens. He's going to be like, I don't know, man. I'm going to be tired as fuck. But he has the same story. He doesn't know his dad. So he has no ability to identify with me on Star Trek. Because for me, Star Trek is sitting with family, watching it in the dark at 10:30 at night on Sunday, staying up late. I get to stay up late with Dad. We're watching Star Trek. And that was my introduction to good science fiction, to good storytelling. And I didn't recognize it till I was in my 20s.
Can I say something to his comment? I'm sorry that you didn't get to have memories like that made with your dad. But the thing is, if you're a dad now, or if you have grandchildren now, you can do that for someone else. And that's what I tell people. If you didn't get the chance to get memories made, because I can't make any more memories of my mother. My mother passed away, and a little over 5 years ago now. And I still cry sometimes. I'll see something or I'll hear something, a song, or I'll smell something. Somebody cooked something, and I'll think of my mom and I cry. But I was a daddy's girl. I was a tomboy. I had 4 sisters, and I went hunting, fishing, and hiking, and did all kinds of things with my dad. So I had a little special thing that I was lucky to have with my dad that my sisters didn't get, because I was into dirt and doing things outdoors. So I was lucky to get that. But now he's living with one of my sisters. He's not able to get around as much now. He hurt his leg, and it's just gotten worse and worse. But he's healthy, and he I get to talk to him on the phone and stuff, but it's not the same thing. And I miss that with my dad. So that makes it tough for me when I talk about things that I get to do with him when I was young. But the thing is I tell people it's never too late to make good memories with others today. Like all the times that Bruce and I've got to sit in Discord and just watch a movie that I've never seen, or a horrible movie that he wanted me to see, like Terror Train and some of these others. It's a fun
movie. Midnight Meat Train.
I did. I like the one scene where the girl kicks her ass inside the train car in the little white shirt with the skirt. I thought that was really good, but the overall movie I didn't like. But the thing is, it's a memory now, because I got to enjoy it with someone I care about and other people that joined us too. And it was fun. And that's a memory. And you can't buy those. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Memories are something you cannot buy. You make them with your time. And if you don't use your time to make memories with people you love and people that you care about, I don't know what to tell people. I just tell them that to be yourself, go out and have fun and try to enjoy yourself with people you care about, with their time and their effort. Take them to a comic book shop. Take them to the zoo. Take them out hiking, fishing, or whatever. Do things that you enjoy, because just because I like those things doesn't mean someone else is going to like them. But if you enjoy doing things like that, go do something with somebody you care about. Join a bowling league. Join a church group. Join a political group. I mean, I don't know. It just depends. But it's never too late. As long as you're getting up every morning and you're breathing, it's never too late to go out and make a new memory with somebody you care about. And you don't know what that memory will do to that person later on. So I'm just saying, don't give up on being able to have good memories with someone you care about. And the fact, if if I couldn't make memories with someone, I would just find someone else to make them with. You know, try to find someone else, because all of us have bad things that happen in our lives, and we just have to try to pick up and move on and go on to the next thing. But don't waste your good life that you have right now on sitting around wishing you'd done something when you were younger, or last time I wish I'd done it this way. Do it that way now. That's what I tell people. So that's all I want to say. Thank you for listening to me. I'll shut up now.
You're good. I'm typing a dirty message to Mage's Musings.
Oh,
He's like, I'm 51. I ain't having no kids. Sir,
well, you don't have to have kids. If you have nieces and nephews, you can do the same thing with them, or volunteer.
if you want kids, there's this place called Laredo, and you just put yourself on the
Oh,
market there.
you always bring up the same town.
You know why?
You
Because
must
it
have had a
works.
really good experience
I know
there.
people there that they're. When I was 37, I went to Edinburgh, Texas, same place. It's this fucking dusty, fucking, and nobody speaks English. Anyway, went there with a friend. He's like, yeah, we're going to a party. So I bring beer. And I get there, and I'm kind of dressed in like cargo pants and cargo shorts, uh, sandals, and a collared t-shirt or collared shirt. But all these other guys, they're there like they're looking like they're something. I don't understand what they're saying. They're all speaking Spanish. So I'm there, and I recognize all the women there are like really, really pretty ladies. They're like my age, or they're younger than me, but they're in like these like Disney princess dresses, and I have no idea what's going on. The girls are heavily made up, I might add. And as I'm there, I'm just kind of drinking with my buddy, and he's like, "Hey, that one wants to dance with you." And this girl comes up in like a Belle dress from like Beauty and the Beast. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I dance with her. And she's trying to get all snuggly with me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of 37. I'm not like as fat as I am at any measure right now. I'm about 180, 190 pounds. And she's getting real snuggly with me. I'm like, I don't know you. What's going on? And she's like, oh, I just wanted to see if you wanted to dance. And I'm like Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey? No, not like that, but we can dance like adults. And so we're dancing, and then like the other girls are giving her like the onion eye, the stink eye. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Like when the girls like are jockeying for position, and I'm realizing that I've become a commodity, and I didn't realize that I've been put on the market. And so I go back to my buddy after the song's over, and the girl follows me back. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, what do you mean? I said, why is all the young girls in like the princess outfits? And he's like, oh, it's a quinceanera. And I'm like, what's that? Well, in Mexican culture, it means that the girls have reached adulthood, and now they are looking for a man to marry and give them babies. What? Yeah, that's why Texas has the highest birth rate among kids, doesn't it? Yeah,
It does?
look. Yeah, I mean, we have like
Oh,
a really horrible rating for
I
like
thought big
young.
cities, like in LA and New York and stuff
No,
like that.
no, it's all the small rural towns with farmers' daughters that turn
Oh,
fresh 15, and they're like got the huge boobs and like the shapely butts, and they're not like quite fat and horrible yet because of like flour tortillas and gout. No, that's all Texas right there. Like the entire Hispanic culture has kind of ruined the one thing, because American metric is 18, you're an adult. Below 18, you're a child. And if you're below 18 and you're a pregnant with your second kid, like there's a problem. But in Hispanic culture, if you have two or three kids by the time you're 18, you're doing really good because you're still young and you can lose that weight real fast and make
mhm.
another kid. And I realize the danger I'm in, and I leave. I go lay in the truck, and I pass out. I've got the window cracked, don't have the engine running. I'm just waiting for this day to end, because I didn't realize that these young girls, 20 years younger than me, were going to try to marry me or hit on me or something. I felt like I'd been bamboozled. So that's like, I'm just saying, like, that's the normal occurrence. And you'll go down there to Mexico, and there'll be like 15 to 20-year-old women flinging themselves at you if you're like in your identifiable 30s. They're like, oh, this happens all the time. Yeah, she's like 17 and she married him. He's like 32. Yeah, it happens. No big deal, brother. Oh my god, it's fucking hilarious. It is hilarious. Yeah, you're in Canada. I get it. This is a honor. This is a time honored thing in this chat because it happened to me, and it happens to my friends when they come down here. Happened to Chuck. Chuck gets hit on by a 19-year-old at Mad Dogs when he's ordering Ziegenbach, which is a really good beer, and he's like, "How old is she?" I'm like, "I think she's 19. I don't know." And so he asked her, "Yeah, I'm 19. Here's my number." Chuck's like 40 years old. The culture, man. It's just the culture. So
Mm-hmm.
if you like that
Don't
sort of,
they have, what's the name of that app again? The swipe left, swipe right one?
they have lots of Tinder here. Lots
Okay,
of
well,
Tinder.
I was gonna say, don't they have that in Canada?
They do, but they're mainly like that. I guess there's a joke I heard. What do you say to a Turkish immigrant? Welcome to Canada, sir. Because
Oh,
there's a lot of Turkish that I know that are going
I was
into
gonna say, because I
Ottawa.
don't understand it. It went over
They're,
my
they're,
head.
the
But I
the
was born in Canada. I was born there. I was born in Newfoundland. So just letting him know I was born there. But my dad was military, so
Mage, why didn't you turn around and go back to the liquor store? She probably was there like, he can't be that dense. I just threw myself at a man and he can't be that dense. Most women are like that. Like, I looked at him twice. Doesn't he know that I like him? And they expect you to read their mind. So that kind of happens.
I can say something for women. If a woman sees a guy and she says hi and gives an extra smile, or or she asks you something like, "Where's? Do you know where this is at?" Or she just gives you a little extra attention, or she grabs your arm, or something like that. And if you don't pick up on that, she thinks you're cute or whatever. She's not going to throw herself at you, because if she does that, then she thinks that he expects me to go in this backseat of his car or something. So we're not going to do that unless we're a hooker or something. Want $20 or whatever it is they charge. But I'm just saying. So a real lady's not going to do that, and I don't think you'd want anything about a lady, would you? So you got to start paying attention, or more
Okay.
attention.
This movie gets a 96 from me, or this series gets a
Yeah, the
96.
TV
96
series.
for all of it from start to finish. There's a few small blemishes here and there. There's a few cues that aren't quite right. Some of the actors occasionally they'll make a facial expression that's not quite right, but it's pretty okay because the original Trek was campy as hell.
Yep, that's why I like this one so much. I honestly, I looked for things that I would hate, but I didn't see anything. So I think I'm a little biased, but I can't help it. I
Yeah,
cannot help it.
I couldn't help but love the
It was
show.
awesome. I mean, it was so good. I mean, if they had this at a theater, a weekly theater, I would pay money to go sit in a theater and watch each episode again. And I'd probably round up and start over again. Start from the beginning. It's that good. And I would dress up in my costume and go. I would, whatever it took, I would do it, because it's worth it to me. They're so rare. This is like finding a diamond, while you're digging a new garden, to do, and then finding a diamond out there, because that's what this is to me. I just loved it.
Yeah, the writing holds up, and it was campy. Parrothead
Mhm.
asks, "Did you hear the one about the 50-foot giant?" Go ahead, Parrothead. What's the answer?
Mm-mm.
Appreciate everybody that came by today, made themselves known. Bones was in here. Parrothead, Mage's Musing, Six Nation, 31 Kings, Flady, all of our friends that we have come to get to know over the course of time. Still haven't streamed with Bone. One of these days, maybe.
He has a streaming channel.
I don't know if he's got a streaming channel. I know that at some point he will click a link. At some point, it might not be me. He might panel with somebody else, but I've never seen the man panel. It wouldn't be hard. He'd be good at it.
No.
Ah! Ah! Did you hear the one about the 50-foot giant? Never mind, it's over your head.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Six Nations says to Mage's Musings, come down here and sell your exotic maple people skills. You'll do well, I'm sure, Mage's Musings. But Janet, on your channel, what do you have planned here over the next week? Because I know that you're not stopping just because I've got to go to work.
Well, on my YouTube channel, I have nothing, nothing planned. I can't even post a comment. I can't even post comments. I've been going underneath other people's comments and commenting. Sorry, I can't post anything because there's no place else for me to post. So I'm basically doing that. But on my other stuff, I'm still doing the same thing I always did. I'm posting videos and shorts and different things like that. And I'm doing live streams. I'm doing better now. I'm getting better at it on Rumble. So I will have another Friday night shit show, but it'll be on Rumble on X. So that's about it.
Forward to that. I might actually be able to be part of this Friday, but it'll be the last one.
Well, just let me know. Just let me know if you're going to be, if you're going to be available, because it's not until 9 p.m. So
if I pass out at 6 in the afternoon, forgive me.
No, your job is more important than anything you put on YouTube.
That's kind of how I feel about it. I like money.
To me, I'd rather you be able to take care of yourself, take care of your wife, and buy food. I think that's way more important.
Yeah.
So
appreciate everybody that's been here, throwing super chats or memberships. You didn't have to do that. It was really pleasurable to get to know you guys. And I look forward to continuing this channel, be on a reduced basis, but weekends I expect to be painting up figurines. I'll be painting up figurines during the day too, but I might be just in Discord or in another Discord channel painting figurines while I listen to people talk.
Yeah. But I do want to say that if any of you out there, want have me come and hang out with you on your show or talk about something you think I might know anything about, send me a DM on Discord or on my X, and I will try to join you if you want me to. I don't do any naughty stuff. I mean, I don't know what you might know about me or not, but I'm not going to do any. I don't do that stuff. If you want that, you have to go to OnlyFans for someone else.
You would say that, but like every time I go to OnlyFans, it's just like no build up.
People say that there's feet on there. There's all kinds of wacky. I've never been to OnlyFans, so I don't have a clue what's on there.
But I find it as engaging as going to a strip club, which I find boring as shit. So that's boring.
They make a lot of money, so somebody's spending money there.
I'll tell you what, you're better off to get a job as a fast food fry flipper than go show yourself on OnlyFans, because the average payout for OnlyFans is less than like what you'd make in a 20-hour work week at a crappy store or fast food restaurant. You're better off not showing everything that you're given and just keep your dignity. Go get a job. Go get some skills. There's nothing wrong with earning a living and doing well. Yeah, you can go into the miserable vice, but you're never going to be the same again. And worse yet, you're never going to value yourself the same again either. Your dignity's shot to hell. So do something better for you and your family. Save your dad the problem. Oh, do you drink? We may need players for a drinking quest on Friday. Yield Geek and I are doing our channel anniversaries. Oh boy, that sounds good.
I might come, but I'm not very good at drinking. 2 drinks and I'll be out. So I'm a real. I drink wine. I don't drink beer. I haven't done shots in years. So yeah, I'd be boring for that.
I'll just give you guys the goods on this. If Janet has 2 or 3 glasses of wine, if you think getting a word in edgewise is hard now, until she's had drinks, she doesn't stop.
Yeah.
She's just going, and she had a thought back in '87 and she remembers it. she's gonna let it out today. She's a chainsaw of thoughts.
Hey, just me. I can't help it. That's right. That's exactly true. And Bruce has been on a live stream with two of my sisters and me, so he knows exactly what he's talking about.
My wife wants to marry into that family. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't have any brothers. I only have sisters. So
she can dream.
oh yeah, we can't help it. It's just when you have 5 girls, you have to all talk at the same time, because if you don't, you'll never get in. There's never a slot open. You know what I mean?
Like Mud's women. It's I swear it's if you ever watched Harry Mudd when Mud's Women was on the original series, it's so great.
Well,
appreciate everybody being here. All 185 of you that joined us today. Although you Twitter people, you guys could be a little more talkative. I like you guys, but come on, a little more. For those of you that are watching us on YouTube, which is where I'm streaming, or on Rumble, appreciate you as well. For the diehards that are here each and every time, Janet and I will be resuming this show at a different time to be announced. We will let you guys know on our respective Discord channels with a blanket here message, and let you guys know what the going rate is, or what the time is that you need to be around and partake. We will make these videos available for those that wish to watch them later on, although sometimes the joy is gone at that point. But you can still watch us. You can still listen to us as you're doing your things, like mowing the lawn or pushing yourself on a Stairmaster at the gym, whatever you may be doing. Once again, if you've not seen Star Trek Continues and you have family that likes Star Trek, good Trek, not new Trek, grab them, make some good food, take them to the living room or the man cave, wherever you have your largest media item, the television with a big screen, and sit them down and treat them well and show them what good script writing and a good narrative can do with excellent special effects and great musical cues, guaranteed to take you back to when you were a child watching the original series. My name is Bruce Lombardo. I'm with Janet from Another Planet. The two of us will be back here in the next coming weeks.
Well, let me see my outfit. See?
Hold on. Nope.
My boots.
There we go.
Okay, see, I do dress up. I just only get to see part of me. That's it. So, sorry.
Janet, you're absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who wanted to hang out with us for a little bit. And everybody wish Bruce good luck for his new job starting in the morning, early.
Appreciate it. For all of us here, a girl, a guy in a movie, we will see you all later. Until then, the auditorium will be locked, but we will be open once again. Good day.
Bye-bye.